Good morning. I'm James Jeffrey, and I'm the genealogy specialist here at the Denver Public Library. I want to talk to you today about your papers. You and I both have been collecting our ancestral paper trail for years. Some of us for a few years, some of us for decades. We've neatly stored things in file folders, in file cabinets. Some of us have carefully placed everything in sheet protectors in 3-ring binders. The bottom line is we have a lot of stuff. Now, stuff is okay. I like stuff. I collect stuff. And for me, part of this ancestral quest is the hunt. But that's not it. What are you going to do with your stuff? Hopefully, you'll publish. You may publish an article. You may publish a series of articles. You may actually have a book in you. I don't know if I have a book in me or not. I've produced a few things. They're here on the shelves at the library. They're scattered among my family and friends. But it's certainly not going to be an award-winning book. But what I want to do is to make sure that my research stays for generations to come. Now, my research and your research is important to us, but is it important to anyone else other than another researcher? If you're never going to write it up, if you're never going to join a lineage society, which is a form of publication because it preserves that bit of your lineage for future generations, then let me make a recommendation. You may want to work with a library, a historical society, the museum in the geographic area where your family's from. Possibly they're interested in your papers. Now, your papers, archivists like original records. Archivists don't like photocopies, I'll tell you that right now. But sometimes the value of a genealogy collection is that you and I have in our notebooks or file folders collected primary source material along with photographs, along with the printed word, whether it be newspaper articles or paragraphs out of compiled family histories and county and local histories. We have then attempted to synthesize this material and summarized it at the beginning of our file. Well, if you haven't synthesized it, if you haven't tried to make some sense of it, then why should anyone else value your research? That's a challenge to you. It's a challenge for me. What we want to do is to make sure that if we have enjoyed the hunt, that we are going to preserve our material for generations to come. Now, if you're never going to write a book, but you have access to something like Family Search or Ancestry, then I would recommend that you build a tree there. And you don't just build a naked tree, that you build a tree with all of those resources that you've been collecting, that you cite all of your sources, whether it's an ancestry source or a family search source, that you incorporate all of that material in your tree, generation by generation. By doing that, you will have ensured that future generations will have access to your work. In this age of recycling, let me recommend that you recycle your paper, because I'm going to tell you, the number one collector for your paper is the garbage dump. Because when your family come to clean out your house or your apartment or your condo, they want to get it cleaned out as soon as possible. And that means trashing everything. I have a horror story of a woman who fell ill. Her family thought she was dying. They put her in a home, and they cleaned out her house and they sold it. But they didn't clean out her office. They left that. They did not value her material. She recovered, and she spent the last few years trying to recreate her files. Let us all think about this and ponder on it as we begin our new determination to ensure that our research survives for generations to come. If you have any questions, feel free to call upon us here at the Denver Public Library. Send us an email at history@denverlibrary.org. Come in and visit, take some of our classes. We're more than willing to help you. Thank you so much and enjoy the hunt.